What is up, YouTube? AlphonZeus of Team Gradelock here with another episode of Team Gradelock Unlocks a week. We're going to be going over the latest Cardfight Vanguard episode, Ride 163, as well as results from our local and any more news that we have from Team Gradelock to you, our subscribers. So let's get right into it. Ride 163, spoiler. If you haven't seen the episode yet, please pause and close the video, go watch that episode, and then come back right here so we can discuss about it. Of course, if you don't want to do that, please click on the link in the description down below just to skip right to the results of our local. So, Ride 163, Those Who Connect, the season 3 finale, and boy oh boy was a great season finale. And when it comes to the conclusion between Kai and Aichi, as the Link Joker ring just starts to fall apart, or at least starts to really fall apart. We have Kai doing the brake ride with Dragonic Overlord, the Rebirth, locking all rear guards and then attacking the grade 2, stand again, attack the Vanguard, and then gets a critical trigger, so Aichi's at 5 damage, but Aichi gets that draw trigger and lays down another perfect guard. So then we go to Aichi, where he plays his cards, and oh man, with the little Star Call Trumpeter, with putting Blaster Blade, Liberator, shuffle that back in, and call a critical trigger. So it's kind of something. And then Kai ends up, lasting out. And then he goes again for another limit break with that. And then Aichi perfect guards that yet again. Oh man. And throughout this whole thing, everybody's still at the bottom. You see everybody, almost the whole crew from the past 3 seasons, just looking up at this roof. I'm about to say ceiling, the roof, and seeing the battle between the Gold Paladins and Kagero. Oh my goodness. And everybody's want to hope everybody's gonna be alright. Korin, of course, is concerned for Aichi, and of course Masaki is acknowledging that as well. And Kamui wishing they can get in on the action. You see everybody else, even though I'm not sure how many cities or how spread apart they were, but it's kind of cool to have the whole gang together. And then towards the end, we get to see Aichi ride Monarch Liberator, Monarch Sanctuary, Alfred, oh dear. To get, okay, Counter Blast 3, Soul Blast 3, and put everything on top of the deck. Superior Call, so many more people. Ultimate Break, oh hey, there's a Blaster Blade Liberator, gets plus 10k in the critical. Oh hey, Bruno gets plus 19, having him swing for an insane amount, or at least boost for an insane amount. And, before that time, Kai ends up realizing with Aichi, is like, that I'm gonna disappear forever. Aichi's like, no, you're my rival, you're my friend, and all of a sudden you see the reverse influence from Kai leave him. You don't see the red marks under his eyes. You see usually the Kai that we all know and love. And so it became just a regular match. And Aichi's reverse influence also left him as well, which is pretty good, not letting it overtake him. And I guess it was because of that bromance or that rivalry that they always shared that they, just enjoyed it. And Aichi ended up coming out the victor because Kai wasn't able to do much because he had 2 cards in his hand after activating the Rebirth's limit break, not once but twice in the past 2 turns. So it was definitely something that can really take a gander at the hand and drain it. But of course, at the end, it was all good. We get to see Aichi and Kai finish out their fight with Aichi coming out the victor, and then we have everything fall apart with the black ring, and everybody's scared, thinking, "Oh no, what's going on? What's going on? Is Aichi dead or something like that?" And then you see in the smoke, you see Aichi appear again, and everybody's all happy. And then they see Kai, and then you see Naoki and Kamui. They're a bit more defensive, thinking, "Oh no, did Aichi succeed or not?" And then it turns out that everything was back to normal. Aichi grabbed Kai by the wrist and brought everybody back, and just saying, "Wow, that's a pretty good ending." And so after that, we get to see Aichi walk up to Korin, and a noticeable thing was that I guess the band from Korin's hair fell apart, pretty much just showing just her blonde hair just let down. And Aichi felt sad because now it's about the time where Korin lost all of her memories, which is pretty sad, but at least they get to share a tender moment just smiling at each other before the amnesia leaves and sets, well, at least the amnesia sets in and all of Korin's memories are erased along with the rest of Team Ultra Rare. And so that story ended, happy ending, and then we get to see Kai walking down, and you see how Cardfight Vanguard apparently has taken a big leap in Japan. Everybody's playing it now. Apparently, thousands and millions of players are playing the game now, and it's just really, I don't know, unifying just to see everybody playing a game, even though it's just a trading card game. And then they get to see a little bit of a reenactment from way before season 1 when Kai gave Aichi Blaster Blade, and so there was a kid who gave his younger brother, at least from dialogue, a card. We don't get to see it, but at least you get to see, you know, kind of things starting over from scratch. And then Kai, before he enters in Cardfight Capital, he has these thoughts about everything that happened, and he's saying, alright, get to at least battle my best friend. And I'm thinking, well, that's nice and all, just that I noticed one of the comments on one of the videos that was posted that, oh yeah, you're just gonna like ditch out on your friend Miwa, who's been friends with you for God knows how long, and then you're gonna just go to Aichi, who you knew for just 3 years, and you're gonna call him your best friend. So that was a very interesting take on to say, hey, I'm still here, and you know, Miwa's still a pretty good guy. And we pretty much end season 3 off with that. And it was a pretty fitting end. You get to see, you know, the same units that you saw, Dragonic Overlord and Blaster Blade, just different versions of themselves, going at it, and then we pretty much a reminiscence of episode 1 and how that turned out, and how so many things have changed. And I feel like this episode was pretty awesome. I liked how it ended. I liked the whole thing where even though Kai thought that he would be the last one before he fades away into non-existence, that Aichi would try and get him back because he cares about him. And it's that bromance, or maybe for some fangirls, yaoi, but still, it's still like a relationship that they have as friends, as rivals, as teammates, and you know that bond still continues. And so as we end season 3, I think there's a lot of things that can take into consideration. You have Omega Glendios, which was going to be a hell of a force when it comes over into the TCG. You have, you know, the Gold Paladins that have the one tech that can get rid of any Link Joker lock cards. So you can kiss Infinite Zero goodbye, you can kiss Chaos Breaker Dragon goodbye, because activating that Alfred's Limit Break is just going to destroy their strategy, which is understandable given the heavy cost of it, but in tag teams it's going to be extremely worse. So anyways, that's it for the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed the season 3 finale just as much as I did. If not, please comment down below with what you thought about it, as well as any more comments or things you noticed in the episode that I did not mention, so we can get a conversation started. And now let's get right to the results of our local. Now, according to what I've heard, I wasn't able to attend any of the locals this week because I was busy with my family. We were visiting a relative down in West Virginia, so I wasn't able to go. But what I've heard, at least from the Friday and Saturdays, that Friday was that Henry and Alex topped, going undefeated. Henry's running the Eradicator Valiant Sword Reverse, and Alex is running the Revenger Shadow Paladin. So it was good to see him, see Team Gradelock going undefeated in Tag Team 20, and according to the Game On's pictures, they got a lot of boosters out of it. And then on Saturday, there were about 13-14 people that entered, and so far top 4 ended up being Henry, Alex, John, and Eric. Henry with the Eradicator Valiant Sword Reverse, Alex with MLB, Eric with, I think, Beast Deity, and John with Spike Brothers. So good to see Team Gradelock taking up a really good portion of the top 4 there. Very, very proud of them. And of course, in my absence, they managed to record a casual series match, which I'll upload tonight. And also the Team Gradelock Unlocks the Team episode. I'm also going to upload that as well, you know, within the next 24 hours. So I can at least get that content up and ready for you. I'm not sure if there's going to be a second casual series match for this week, but don't you worry, I'll be able to put up more matches after the following weekend. It's just been a lot of things going on with school, the club organizations that I'm a part of, and it's, you know, it's kind of hard to catch up, especially with the projects that I'm going to be tasked with over the next few months. So there's that. But of course, with the local results that's going on, seems like there's going to be a strong, you know, flourish of Vanguard, especially with set 12 out strong. There was definitely some dark irregulars there, some pale moons. I'm not sure if Alex told me about any Link Joker decks that were there, but hopefully if I manage to get my 4 perfect guards, I'll be able to run the Link Jokers at next week's tournament. So we have that going for us. And then also another thing to report on is that the news about Season 4. Season 4 concerning that Aichi is gone missing and Kai is the only one that has memories of Aichi, yet no one else has. Or at least that's what the rumors have been going around with. And then they're introducing the new skills called Legion Mate. And Legion Mate is extremely interesting because then they explain a whole different aspect, and they don't really go after the limit break even, which has been a popular mainstay for the past couple of sets, especially focusing on units that rely on you to have 4 damage or more in order to activate their abilities. And in Legion Mate, it's interesting because then you get to actually unite 2 cards and they become 1, so you have like one big Vanguard circle with 2 cards that come together, and then they get extra skills on top of that. And the interesting thing that was brought up to me by one of Team Gradelock's members, Alex, was that you don't need Limit Break to activate these skills. And so I think that this Legion Mate might be a new thing to come in, and what we've seen before, especially with the tease about the new extra booster for Diva's Duet, it shows somewhat of a Legion Mate thing as well, because the common theme for Legion Mates is that the 2 cards are pretty much the same picture, just that they separate them. Therefore, Legion Mate comes into play. Of course, with Legion Mate, you can even activate to join them together or not, and then you get extra skills on top of that if you do manage to use the Legion Mate. So, although at glance we see that it might have a pretty good impact on meta, I think that Limit Break is still going to be a very viable aspect, and whenever people get to 4 damage, stuff is going to be going down way more than than ever. So I think that this is going to be not a game changer, but at least something that changes the way people can play the game, and it might change the deck composition of some of them, because you have units that rely on the Legion by themselves, while others you rely on the limit break. So it's going to be an interesting tug of war between what type of decks that people would prefer. Would you prefer having a Legion, or would you prefer your limit breaks? And even though that they're really pushing for it in set 16 with the Seekers and the Brawlers, I think that limit break is still here to stay. I think it's going to probably take maybe 2 or 3 more sets in order for the Legion to really get in and establish themselves as, hey, this is a pretty viable deck. And so far from what we've seen that there's Blasted Blade Seeker that joins up with Wingull, so a grade 2 and a grade 3, and they combine themselves so they have a 20k Vanguard base during your turn only, which is good because, dear God, if you have a 20k base on your opponent's turn, you might as well just say, alright, I'm going to drop 1 card and say 1 to pass, or if you have no other attackers, you just perfect guard them because you don't want to get luck sacked. And this, I want to see what's going to be going on, because for the Season 4 teaser, you've seen Kai using Royal Paladins, you've seen Naoki using the Narukami, and then you see the other characters such as Miwa and Masaki, and then you see Ren kind of do an elbow drop in to see if you saw the Season 4 teaser for it. So I think it's going to be an interesting season for Season 4. There actually been circulating pictures around the internet about the new characters in Cardfight Vanguard, which is good to see a refreshing change of characters, especially for the fact that Aichi is going to be going missing throughout at least the beginning part of Season 4. And so it's going to be interesting to figure out how that story all comes into play, especially with Kai picking up Royal Paladins instead of his usual Kagero Narukami units. So there's a lot to talk about that. From what I know, wow, Vanguard is just coming up with new stuff. And I remember back when it was just set 1, set 2, and just say, alright, when Mega Blast was a thing, and then you have the ride chains, and then you have the limit break, and then you have cross rides, and then you have break rides, and then you're gonna have Legion Mate. Well, actually, before break ride, you have ultimate break, then then break rides, and so you have an interesting set of mechanics for the game. And of course, Vanguard is still a pretty young game compared to some of the other aspects of trading card games, such as Magic the Gathering, such as Yu-Gi-Oh, because they've established themselves for at least over a decade somehow, and Magic especially even more. And so with Cardfight Vanguard, I feel like this is going to be a very good break from it. Now, of course, since Season 3 is over and it's going to take a while for Season 4 episodes to be launching, I would actually like to expand into a different anime. One of my friends at the local suggested to me that since Cardfight Vanguard Season 3 is now completed, we can actually get into a different game, Buddy Fight. And Buddy Fight's been taking over our locals quite a bit. A lot of people at Game On really do like it. There's a lot of I guess it's a less luck-sacky than Vanguard. It's really, focused on deck comp, kind of like the way the Kaijudo taken over, but Buddy Fight is actually starting to really pick up steam, and people are starting to like it a lot more. So, who knows if this Buddy Fight thing is going to take off, but for next week's episode, and occurring that until Season 4 of Cardfight Vanguard comes back, I'll report on the Buddy Fight episodes. Of course, I'll report on the latest episode of that week. So, unless you guys want to know what happens in at least episodes 1 through whatever, then feel free to comment down below just to request that. But unless that happens, I'm just gonna go report on the latest Buddy Fight episode, and then we'll take it from there. So, besides the Team Gradelock Unlocks week episode, be on the lookout for both the casual series for this week, as well as Team Gradelock Unlocks the week. And that is it for me. My name is AlphonZeus, and I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Team Gradelock Unlocks the week, and I will see you all next time.